Hi, Maki. It's so nice to see you.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me to this context.
Yeah, I think Andreas and I both say you're welcome. So we're interviewing you on the occasion of your participation in the 10 Encounters show on view between October 9th and November 13th at Olfactory Art Keller in New York. And you contributed a piece, an art piece. So we want to talk about that. But first, maybe you could introduce yourself to our people, what your name is, what you do, you know?
Yeah. My name is Maki Ueda. I'm Japanese Dutch artist using the sense of smell solely for the practice of art. I started this career quite a long time ago, about 17 years ago. In the beginning, I practiced it in the Netherlands for 10 years. And then the last 7 years, I'm back in Japan. I have a atelier in a tropical island in Okinawa, and I do my practice and I participate in olfactory art exhibitions worldwide, and I'm flying all the time except when it's COVID. So
except for the last year and a half.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it'll start again, I'm sure. So the next question, I guess we wanted to know if you could tell us a little bit about the meeting that you selected, which was between Tokugawa Tsunayoshi and Engelbert Kaempfer.
Yeah. Okay. Like I introduced myself, I'm quite related to the Netherlands anyway. In my life, I was married to a Dutch man, and my son is half Dutch. I speak Dutch fluently. So it has been always my curiosity to dig into the relationships between Japan and Holland. Holland was the only country for Japan to trade for about 250 years during the Edo period that started about 1600 and ended in 1867. Tokugawa family was the only family who took the power in the Edo period. And in order to maintain the peace in country, Tokugawa family allowed only Holland as a trading partner because Dutch people were very smart. Dutch people didn't sell religion to Japan. The other countries like Portugal, Spain, they sold Christianity, the concept of Christianity. So for Tokugawa family, it was very dangerous. So Dutch people were welcome to Japan, and Japan made an island in Nagasaki prefecture only for Dutch people to be stationed. So there was no communication between Holland and Japan in general, but these trading people, Dutch VOC, they had to come to Edo central government once a year or once every 2 years, I believe, to meet and to show up and to give presents. Yeah, it's a long way. It's about 1,000 kilometers. So they had to walk in Japan. And that was the only time for Japanese people to see foreign people, so blonde and blue eyes. So it has been a very interesting time. That was a time that Japan developed as a country, their own unique culture. And that was a time to build relationship with Holland, which is still nowadays, quite obvious. For Holland, Japan is a very special country. And back then, Holland was trading mainly spices, because spices, like I have now, like juniper seed here, spices was like worth money, so it's very small. And so mainly the presents from Dutch people to Japanese government was the fragrance materials. and also textile. And yeah, and in the book, Kaempfer and Tsunayoshi, I found a proper book, Kaempfer and Tsunayoshi. In this book, they write about the meetings of Kaempfer and Tsunayoshi. They met twice, and it's based on the manuscript written by Kaempfer, but I could read the conversations what they talked about. And what was interesting to me was that Tsunayoshi asked Kaempfer a lot of questions because he was a curious guy. He asked Kaempfer to dance and sing and greet people and laugh, and even Tsunayoshi asked Kaempfer to like argue between each other, or so almost a theater play that Tsunayoshi wanted to see. And other factor was interesting, that like Tsunayoshi was very curious about longevity, and he asked Kaempfer a question that what kind of medicine is the best for longevity in Europe? And Kaempfer tried to answer correctly. Well, he was meaning to answer gin. I love gin,
which is funny.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's strictly true.
Yeah. Back then, it was considered as a medicine for higher blood circulation, and so
Okay.
yeah. So I'm quite curious about the cause, because I'm drinking gin every day. Cause and results.
Well, you'll have to report back in 20 years when you still look like you're 30.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, gin originates from Dutch jenever. It's really very like nice drink, and but Kaempfer didn't answer gin or jenever because he thought that he would run into trouble of that Tsunayoshi would want it to have right away and try to like make it as like a trading product. So Kaempfer wanted to avoid troubles, so he answered Sylvia's whatever, very long name. Salt. Yeah, it was.
Here, I have it here. It's sal volatile oleosme sylvie.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I have no
What
idea
is
what that
that?
is. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds healthy.
Yeah.
It does.
So I decided to centralize your neighbor, the juniper berry as the center of the scent. I find it interesting that people are always curious about something. It is maybe for longevity or maybe for health, but always fragrance materials is the center of curiosity in that time. Back then, like trading materials were agarwood and borneol and other clove, cinnamon, spices, and the jenever, the juniper berry, was also like the center of this conversation. So I decided to illustrate this conversation primarily, but also from the point of view how the desire for fragrance materials has changed the history. That was my point for creation. So I have camphor involved, agarwood accord involved, and borneol, and yeah.
And
so then
I've seen the formula. There's quite a lot in there. There's clove, cumin. There's so much. Yeah, tobacco. Yeah.
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 Andreas, do you want to?
Yeah, so is the piece, is it meant to be the smell of the place or the smell of a fictional longevity drug, or all of the above? Or is it in your artist statement? I find it interesting that it seems you're most interested in how curious and intelligent and exchanging those people are, and that of course is something difficult to do in a smell, that you try to do that, or like what's the motivation?
Yeah, first I maybe try to imagine the space of the meetings, and yeah, my idea was to illustrate that as curious as possible. But I thought, yeah, it is a little bit boring to do that. Yeah. And then I also discussed by myself, is it maybe interesting to like illustrate of the moment or space or people or historical scent, and yes, maybe it is interesting just to dig into the materials, in my case, materials, and then try to make a chord of it. That was the simple solution, because I wanted it to be perfect as fragrance. I practiced perfumery as well, and to create fragrance to wear is a other practice than my career. I'm mainly making a spatial installation normally, which doesn't have anything to do with perfumery almost. But this perfumery it's different, I thought. So, and first priority is that it has to smell nice, that I would like it to wear. That was the priority. So digging into material and making a very nice fragrance as fragrance, that was my priority.
So you designed it with the idea that people would wear it in mind.
Yeah,
okay.
And to smell it as it is, it's also very fine. It smells like almost like deep humid forest, which is reminds me of Japanese forest also. So yeah, it became quite like very nice scent for me.
So you mentioned already, and I know this is something Andreas is interested in, and I am too, is the difference, the sort of divergent practices between perfumery and olfactory art. So can you talk a little bit more about that, how you see them relating or not, for you in your practice?
Yeah. My olfactory art is more for, let's say, for awareness of the space, and so the relationship of olfaction with the space. And the perfumery is really like, it's really one point that we smell it from the bottle or like from the strip, and it's really one point and no concept of space almost. So time concept, it exists here because it's top note and middle note and last note. In case of olfactory art installation in the space, I only have to, I mainly deal with the space aspects and less the time aspects. So it's diverse, yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So perfumery is the art in time, and olfactory art is the art in space.
Space, yeah, more or less, yeah. Of course, they have both characters in common, but yeah. So I mainly focused on how it smells here, and Yeah, so that's actually fun for me, because dealing with the space, it's very, very difficult always to make some art piece. Always it takes like a long time to prepare, and you need to have the proper space and it's a lot of preparation. But the perfumery, I like it as a hobby because it is so delicate, and the tiny balance changes the whole fragrance. So I like I like it as a practice, and I practiced it a lot by my olfactory artwork. Yeah, so, and also I find it more less visual art. Perfumery is less visual art. Olfactory art, spatial olfactory art, is more visual art. It's actually almost 100% visual art. Well, we need a lot of time to talk about it, but but perfumery, I find it less and less and less a visual art, which I like a lot. You can close your eyes and you can enjoy just as opening eyes.
Lovely.
So yeah, it creates a lot of imagination here, which I like a lot.
Andreas, did you have anything you wanted to follow up on?
That's all I need to know.
Okay. Well, Maki, again, thank you for, always being amazing, but in this particular instance, for participating in this show. I always love working with you, and I'm very glad to see you on my screen.
Yeah, and yeah, probably sometime soon, I hope, to meet in person.
All of us, we all deserve it.
We all hope that, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe in LA, because LA is closer to Japan than New York, and then Andreas can come to LA too.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah, it's the middle point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy your day, Maki, and enjoy your night,
Thank you.
Andreas. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.